Hey, Sean Q here, your high ticket sales coach, and in this video, I want to share with you the 4 layers of attention. Now, when working with clients, if by giving people attention, you're creating a sales atmosphere. Now, if you hear something that's like just so good, so juicy, I want to hear from you below. Go ahead and put hashtag gold nugget. Okay, so like I said, we live in an attention deficit economy. What does that mean? Well, it means that most people aren't paying attention to anybody, right? You have your phone out oftentimes when you're having a conversation, or when you have a conversation, you have it like right there, like just in case you get a notification. I don't know about you, I've been there. Or you like turn it upside down so you can try not to get distracted, but then you pick it up. They've actually shown studies have shown that if I look at my phone, you naturally want to also look at your phone, which means it only takes one person in a conversation to pull their phone out, and now everybody's attention is gone. So we live in an attention deficit economy. What does that mean? Well, it means that when you give someone 100% of your attention and you truly listen, not just what they say, which we'll talk about the other layers of attention, when you give 100% of your attention, that alone is a powerful sales tool. Because most people, they're not used to being given 100% attention. Here's what's really great is there are actually 4 layers of attention. And when you take the challenge, you're going to discover that we actually show you how to create excited buyers. One of the principles in creating an excited buyer is by paying attention to them. And there's 4 layers, like I've mentioned, of paying attention to someone. If you're taking notes, go ahead and put this below. 4 layers. The first layer of truly listening and paying attention to someone is the layer of context. So put context below context. What does that mean? Well, that means that you're listening just at the words that they're saying. I'm telling you a story about how I went to the ice cream man and he ran out of strawberry ice cream, and like you're just listening at the words I'm saying so you can get context around the story. I'm saying ice cream a lot because I haven't eaten a lot of ice cream over the last 3 months. And by the way, this shirt is really, really, really loose on me. And it used to be tight on me. Total random tangent because we stopped eating carbs and sugars and whatever, blah, blah, blah. Now I want ice cream. Okay, anyways, context, listening for context. And when you're listening for context, all you're doing is you're listening for the words. You're trying to understand what is actually being communicated and what is the context around the story or around what the person is saying. But that's the most shallow layer of listening to someone. That's like listening just for words. When the second layer of truly listening and paying attention to someone goes deeper than context and goes into curiosity. Listening and being curious. This is where you're paying attention for curiosity. You're listening and you're taking what they're saying and you're actually asking more questions. You're saying, hey, you mentioned this. Tell me more about that. Give me more insight. Do I have it right? Is this what you're trying to say? Most people communicate, but they actually don't communicate very well because they think communication is only a one-way skill. Well, I'm a really great talker. I can talk confidently. I can speak well and fluently, but speaking well and communicating well are 2 very different things. Because speaking well is all about your skill set. Communication is all about you being able to communicate in a way they can actually receive it, in a way that resonates with them, in a way that they're like, oh my gosh, I get it. So when you're listening with curiosity, you're listening to deeply understand, not just the context of the story, but to truly be able to say, is what they're telling me truly what I'm receiving well? Is the potential client, as they're describing their problem, do I truly understand the problem? Or can I ask more questions to uncover the root of the problem? Do I truly empathize with their pain? Or can I ask more questions and be more curious to uncover more insight into what they're experiencing? So the first level, put this below, is context. The second level, put this below, is curiosity. The third level of truly listening to someone and paying attention to a potential client when you're in conversation with them is connection. I remember when I was first getting started as a coach, I took on 300 coaching calls, and I did 317 actually. 317 free 2-hour coaching calls. It was insane. I don't know why I did it. I was just kind of crazy. I fell in love with coaching, and I was like, oh my gosh, I want to do this every day, all day. Whoever is willing to let me coach them, I'll coach them. And I remember I made a decision. I'm going to take notes on what they're saying. So I grabbed, at the time, I had like a small mini iPad, and I had my pen, and I would take notes on everything they would say. And 30 minutes in, I began to listen, and I noticed that they would say something, and they said something in the beginning that connected with what they said. And I would bring up, can I share or can I point something out to you? At the beginning of this call, you mentioned that you were really struggling with this, and now you're mentioning you're really struggling with this. What's the connection? And when you're able to connect what people are saying in the span of a conversation, I guarantee their eyeballs, the light bulbs in their head will be like, oh my gosh, you're actually listening. And that's a connection I haven't made yet. When you're able to say, hey, you said this earlier, can I point that out? How is that connecting with what you're saying today or right now? That communicates you're truly listening and you're truly paying attention. So the first layer is for context. You're just listening to the words. The second layer is curiosity. You're asking questions to truly understand. The third layer is connection. You're not just listening to understand, you're listening to connect everything that they're saying. But there's an even deeper layer of truly paying attention to someone. And that's layer number 4, which is listening for authenticity. This is where you're going beyond what they're saying, and you're truly listening with intuition, and you're watching their body language. I've had people tell me, oh yeah, Sean, I really want to do this, but then their body language shifts, or they twitch, or like they're saying they want to pursue something, or they're saying they're having a problem here, but their body is saying something completely different. And something that I've discovered is the body doesn't lie. You might be able to mask something, mask a pain, a problem, a challenge that you're facing with your words. Say, oh yeah, I'm fine. But your body will always reveal it. So at the deepest layer, when I'm having a conversation with a potential client, oftentimes I'm listening and I'm paying attention to their body language, and oftentimes I'll point it out too. Say, hey, can I point something out? You mentioned you really want to 10x your sales, but I saw your face didn't really match the excitement. Can you tell me a little bit more about that? And I've had people say, you know what? I really do want a 10x, but I don't want the burden of that. I don't want the clientele. I don't have the team yet. And they now begin to reveal even more problems that they're facing that I could potentially solve. So the 4 layers of paying attention to someone, which in and of itself is a service to people, is a sales tool. It creates an exciting buyer atmosphere where people are excited to buy from you. The first layer is context, which is where most salespeople, just like most coaches, most experts, that's where they sit. Just tell me what the problem is. Okay, great. Let me give you the solution. The second layer is context, then curiosity. Ask questions. Deeply try to understand. Ask them, do you feel like I truly understand, or is there more that I'm not getting yet? Because I truly want to understand. The third layer is connection. When you're listening and you're able to make connections for them, oh man, their light bulbs go crazy. And the fourth layer is authenticity. Listen, is what they're saying authentic to what they're feeling? Is what they're saying authentic to who they believe they are? Is what they're saying they want truly what they want? The body doesn't lie. So pay attention. Be intuitive. Ask questions. Listen and truly watch and look and pay attention to every detail of the person who's communicating in front of you. When you can do that, people will feel like, oh my gosh, this person really cares about me. And friends buy from friends. Friends never buy from strangers. If they feel like you're a friend, if they feel like you truly get them, if they feel like you really care, the sale becomes 10 times easier. So truly listening. I'm going to give you a little bit of a hint on just life. This also works in your marriage. This also works with your family. This also works with your kids. Truly pay attention. Put your phone away. Put the electronics away. and just sit with the person you love and listen. When you can listen, you can understand. When you can understand, you can then provide a solution. That's all sales is. It's providing solutions. I know a lot of you, maybe you particularly, have felt like sales is super sleazy. Sales is simply, let me figure out what the problem is so I can provide you with a solution. Whether that's my solution or someone else's, doesn't matter. After a conversation with me, though, you're going to be 10 times further along. You're going to understand your problem 10 times more clear. You're going to have a solution available to you, whether it's mine or someone else's. Because my job as a salesperson, as a coach, as an expert, it's just to provide you a solution. That's all sales is. So I'm Sean Q, your high ticket sales coach. I hope this was useful for you. Truly pay attention. Truly listen. I'll see you in the challenge. If you're not signed up yet, you still have time. We start April 19th. Sign up for the challenge. Go to clientschallenge.com. Bye, everyone.